Perimeter is something that you would have done, okay? So it's not something that would be foreign to you. You're probably going to be used to it. So what is it, okay? And when we're doing measurement, we have things like perimeter and area. Where does perimeter fit in? So perimeter is the distance that is around a shape, okay, a 2D shape. So when we're looking at something like this, the perimeter is how long the sides are, and it's the total length of the exterior of a shape. So in this one here and this one here, I'm going to do two different things. Starting off easy questions with perimeter, it'll basically ask you, you might get a simple rectangle or a square, and you'll need to find the area around the shape. So let's just say that this is a rectangle, and I just put in some really important things. So these little lines signify, if there's one line and one line here, it signifies that this length and this length are the same size, okay? So likewise, this length here, because there's two lines, means that it's different to this one that only has one line, but it's the same as this one over here, okay? So that's something that you would have seen in primary as well, but it's good to go over it again. So this one here, I'd have two 6-metre lengths, okay? And setting this out is important. You need to set it out properly. So I'd write P because we're finding the perimeter. And to find perimeter, I go 6 plus 6 plus 3 plus 3, okay? And then I'd obviously add these together. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus another 6 gives me 18. Now, you're probably looking at that thinking, is that the final answer? No, it's not, because I need to put in the unit. I can never forget the unit. I don't mind if you don't put the units in your working here, but it must be in your final answer, okay? And that may change from teacher to teacher. You know, teachers will have certain preferences how they want you to do their working out. So let's have a look at this one here. I put these two here because they're different in the fact that they're not straightforward like this one. So this one here has missing length. So if we have a look at this and we're finding the perimeter of this shape, and up here, let's just write P equals. Okay, so I've got a 10, and I just like to tick these off as I go. I've got an 8, I've got a 4, I've got a 20, but then I have two missing lengths. So I'm missing this length here, I'm going to call that X, and I'm missing this length here, and I'm going to call that Y, okay? So I don't know what they are. However, through investigation, you can find out what these are. So here, let's start with Y. Here I've got a length of 20 meters. Now up here is the same length of 20 meters, not 30, 20, okay? Of that 20 meters, 8 is being taken up in this space here. So that means that this area here, or this length here, is going to be what is left of our 20 meters, which is going to be 12, okay? So I also am going to have to add 12. Now, the same applies on this side. So here I have a length of 10 meters, and over here it'll be the same length of 10 meters, okay? Now, I do not know what X is, but I do know that this length here is 4 meters, okay? So if this is 4 and the whole length is 10, I've got 6 left in there. So my final thing I'm going to have to add is 6. I'm just going to shift it down here so it's not as messy. So P is going to equal 10 plus 8 plus 4 plus 20 plus 12 plus 6. Now, really important that when you do your working out, particularly in exams, double check these calculations, because often we can make silly errors here. I can do it, you can do it, everyone's prone to it, okay? So let's check. So 10 plus 8 equals 18, plus 4 gives me 22, plus 20 gives me 42, plus 12 gives me 52, 54, and then plus 6 gives me 60. And once again, I've got to put in my unit, okay? Now, the last one here. So sometimes you'll get shapes that are missing lengths, okay? Firstly, it's important to recognize that it's missing lengths, okay, through investigation. And then secondly, you need to find ways of finding them, okay? Now here, this one's a little bit different because we need to use some conversion. So here I've got 140 millimeters, and here I've got 6 centimeters. So I'll also notice that this is also a rectangle. I've got one line there, and 2 lines here and 2 lines there. So that means that this is also 6 centimeters, and this is also 140 millimeters, okay? Often these questions will ask you to answer your question in a certain unit, okay? So let's just say that this question is asking me to answer this in centimeters, which means that I need to convert my 140 millimeters. So when I go from millimeters to centimeters, I need to divide by 10, okay? So that means I've got to shift my decimal point once to the left, okay? Which is going to be 14 centimeters, okay? And now I'm able to do my question. So perimeter equals 6 plus the 6 over here, plus the 14 centimeters, and plus this 14 centimeters, okay? 6 plus 6 is 12, okay? Plus 14 gives me 22, 26, plus another 14 gives me 30, and that makes 40 centimeters. So my perimeter there equals 40 centimeters. That's basically perimeter. It's not going to be too much more difficult than that. You'll get investigation questions where you need to find missing lengths. You'll get simple questions to start off with, and you will also get questions where you need to do conversions. So, good luck.